Fashion can be a good way to express a personal identity. But in other cases, fashion becomes a rebellion against past oppression and a way to gain a group identity that rebels against a very difficult past. Two examples of fashion being used as rebellion can be seen with the Sapeurs of the Congo, who use fashion as a rallying point for community pride, and the creation of clothing centered around hip-hop culture in the 1990s. Both of these are examples of how the past was appropriated and reinterpreted to gain a sense of unity. With the Sapeurs, the well-dressed men of the Congo, appropriation of Western clothing becomes a rallying point for pride in an environment of extreme poverty. Western clothing worn by the Sapeurs takes on a ritual and animistic property in the way that they are worshipped and adored by people. People like Maxime Pivot in the following clip embodies this in a very big way.
En habillement, la sape, vraiment, tu es vraiment le meilleur de roi de couleur. Et surtout quand je mets mes couleurs, vraiment c'est là où c'est formidable. Dans mon quartier, il y a ceux qui m'appellent le dieu des habits, le dieu de la sape.
In addition, people like the very vocal Sapeur Kalidoza attempts to build on this tradition and create Congolese brands of their own. This is a way for people to not only gain a sense of ritualized pride, but to create new rituals free from colonizing forces or outside influences.
Je peux partir d'ici jusqu'à là-bas. Le tout, ça m'appartient.
And what do you make here?
Je me retrouve dans ma vie quand je couds comme ça, mais ma spécialité, c'est les habits extravagants, les habits qui n'existent pas au monde. C'est-à-dire quoi? Nous avons l'habitude toujours de porter les habits des Occidentaux, mais moi je me suis révolté à ça parce que, mais pourquoi pas ici au Congo, on peut avoir aussi une marque qui peut combattre aussi les habits des Occidentaux. Une marque congolaise.
Fashion from hip-hop counterculture progressed in a very similar way and was based on appropriation of fashion from elite brands worn mostly by people from the upper class. But people like Dapper Dan and his famous boutique on 125th Street in Harlem worked to take elite brands like Louis Vuitton and to morph it into something new.
The belt that I'm wearing here, you know, this style stuff, Dapper Dan was putting together on your shoe. Dapper Dan was putting together on your baseball cap. You know, the LV was on your baseball cap, on the pouch that hung from your neck. You know, Dapper Dan would use that where Louis Vuitton wouldn't. People who could afford it were going to Dap instead of Louis. You know what I'm saying? You might walk into Louis Vuitton and be looked down at, especially in 1980s. So you go up to Dap, you feel at home, and he's going to cater to your needs and take care of you.
I believe urban luxury fashion started with Dapper Dan, and people wanting to aspire to wear these luxury brands that were unattainable at the time. And he figured out a way to make it attainable.
In addition, like with Kalidoza in the Congo, brands like Course Colors and Karl Kani changed the game by creating fashion made by and for the hip-hop culture instead of appropriating. This was seen by many as rebelling against the status quo, which caused a great deal of resistance.
It was very difficult when I was running Karl Kani to even for department stores to even look at our product because they didn't know, most department stores put a name to, a product. And at that time, it was men's sportswear, men's traditional, and and men's suits, and that was pretty much it. So when we came out with Carl Kanai cross colors, they really didn't know how to identify it. So what they did was, whoever wore the clothes, Too Short or Snoop Dogg or anyone on the West Coast, they considered it gangwear. Then they toned it down and they called it streetwear. Then it became urban. So imagine, this buyer who's never been to the streets in their life, all of a sudden carrying a line that's considered gangwear. And then you got to associate what type of consumer demographics is walking in that store.
Being able to include these brands in television, like in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and In Living Color, made these brands not only popular, but extremely powerful in depicting powerful, independent people expressing themselves in a way that shows their pride instead of someone else's version of pride.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. In living color.